is I'm constantly refinancing because I'm always buying more property. I'm George Markowski and welcome to the Positive Property Show. Our mission is to empower 10,000 people to create financial freedom through property using the Markowski method. Join us. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, freedom fighters. How are you?
Hello, freedom fighters.
And Belinda Flaherty coming to you live from opposing parts of the world. Belinda's back in Melbourne now.
Back in Melbourne.
Now, I don't know what it's like in Melbourne, but it's really beautiful and warm here in Adelaide at the moment.
Oh, it's about 4 seasons in one day here, so.
Yes. So today, what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about property investing in your future.
Correct. That is the topic for today, property investing and your future.
And I've got a lot to talk about that, which is very exciting. And there's a lot of other things I want to talk about too. And one thing I want to discuss tonight is what's happening with home loans and APRA.
Yes, very interesting.
Right, because I think a lot of people might be interested to see what's happening with APRA.
Yep.
And I've just lost my screen, so I'll let you take over. Now, before we start, Belinda.
Belinda.
The one thing you've got that is so amazing, and I've known you for 20 years, and you've always been like this, is you've got just the most amazing amount of enthusiasm.
Thank you, George. Yes.
It's contagious, but you're always enthusiastic.
I am very.
How do you keep so enthusiastic?
Look, it's a mixture of having the right mindset. It's having the mindset, don't sweat the small stuff, and it's all small stuff.
Yep. Explain it to
people. The mindset of having strong goals.
People might not understand that.
Say that again, mindset.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Let's
don't sweat the small stuff. Well, let's say you're running late for work, you can't find your keys, you run around crazy, you get all stressed out, and you go to work. You obviously take that stress to work. And the reality is it's really small stuff, because what's big stuff? Well, I've lost a brother, I've lost a father. That's big stuff, you know? And I think that once you really understand the small stuff from big stuff is when you really understand, you can't get stressed out over small stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. You can't.
I mean, I remember when we were working in the motor industry and we'd be in a car and the driver's going really slow, stuck in traffic, and we knew we had to get to the airport. We were going to miss the flight. Now, most people would be stressing out in the car. We just sat there and started laughing, going, isn't this fascinating?
I know, exactly.
We are fascinated. Instead of frustrated, we started to turn little words from, instead of being totally frustrated, we turned it into fascinated. But it made us laugh. And we figured there's nothing we can do to change it. The flight's going to go. If it ends up we miss our flight, we miss our flight.
Yeah, exactly.
So I suppose, and you've just, waking up with that mindset, I mean, it gets you through the day.
Yeah, look, I love, your powerful enthusiasm. I think it's awesome, you know what I mean?
Thank you.
You know what? Don't let anyone take it away from you. Don't let anyone make you small. You should stay away from people that don't like your enthusiasm. And I'm talking about everyone here watching, you know what I mean? Because you know how you got some people and they support everything you do.
Yep.
And you go, oh, guess what? I did this. And they go, oh, awesome. You go to them and go, oh, bought a house. They go, well done, you bought a house. I just got a pay rise. Great. So there's people around you, supporters, and see all the positives to support you, right?
Yes.
And they bring you up. And then there's people that bring you down. And the naysayers, the people that bring you down, they're the ones you need to limit. Because what happens is these people, what they do is they, you say, oh, I just bought a house now. Like, oh, I was investing risky. Oh, I've got to go for a new job. Oh, that's risky. Don't do it. They're always just trying to put you down, right? But forget people like that. Get them out of your life. What you want is people that support who you are. And someone says people get jealous. Exactly. They do.
Yes, absolutely.
Someone just said, I admire your enthusiasm, Belinda.
Thank you.
Wise words, Belinda Flaherty. Yeah, look, Belinda, you're very enthusiastic and, it's great and I love it. And, everyone on the show loves your enthusiasm on the Positive Property Show. in our Facebook Australian Property Chat, the whole tribe loves your enthusiasm because you've got a zest for life.
Absolutely, 100%.
What I say to a lot of my friends, if you've got a party, the best way to make it really good, just invite Belinda, right? That's it. Seriously. That's a great
look,
way to make the party
absolutely.
good. Absolutely.
Life of the party.
Christina doesn't want to go any holidays unless we invite you to come with us, Belinda. You don't understand that.
I love it.
So enthusiasm for life is so important. And I think, look, you know what? The one thing is, if your future is bigger than your past, you're going to have enthusiasm, right? What happens is a lot of us get caught up in the day to day, right?
Correct.
They really do. And let's face it, life is busy and it's hectic. I don't need to tell you that, but also it's challenging. That's the fact of it. It's full of problems. And by the time something comes into a radar as a problem, it's usually become urgent, right? So most people give very little thoughts to the problems that they're facing 5 or 10 years down the road. Most problems are here and now. Wouldn't you agree?
Correct. Absolutely.
But you know the reverse is true for opportunities, right? It's incredibly unlikely that today will present you with an opportunity that will transform your life. I mean, if you decided today you wanted to make a fortune as a property investor, for example, it'd take you, a couple of months of research to find the right group and the right mentor and hire them. Then, a month or two to get skilled up. And then you've got to get market ready. And then maybe 1 or 2 deals over 6 to 12 months until you get a position where this will completely change your life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're not miracle workers here, right? But that's what it takes. So the thing is, most people don't look in the future because they're too busy fighting fires right now, right? She's better on many beach rooftops, apparently.
I've been on many a rooftop, guys.
And DK said, I'm waiting to meet you all one day. And hopefully with COVID coming to an end, we will.
We're going to have a few more workshops in different states. We can start traveling again.
Mm-hmm.
Things start opening up.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right. So there was a famous guy who did this quadrant. I'm talking about Kiyosaki, people in a different
I was just about to say, a quadrant. I wonder who that is.
He had this quadrant, and there's 4 different categories. One category is not important, not urgent. Then there's not important but urgent. There's important and not urgent. And then there's urgent and important.
Yes.
Right? So, for example, urgent and important, if my house is on fire at the moment, that's pretty urgent, pretty important because I don't listen to them, right?
Absolutely.
Now, if I got a speeding fine, well, it's important, but it's not urgent because I don't have to pay it just yet. But if I wait long enough, then it would become that way, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And the thing is, what we have to realize is a lot of times we get caught up in urgent, right? And urgent, not important. That area of your life is a waste of time.
Absolutely.
Right? And that's what I talk about, little problems that come up. And when you said don't sweat the small stuff, that's why I'm on this rant now, because the point is, sweating the small stuff, the problem with sweating the small stuff doesn't give you space for the big stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And
absolutely, 100%.
Yep. There's a guy called Stephen Covey who wrote the 7 Habits of Effective People, right?
Oldie but a goodie.
Oldie but a goodie. And anyway, what he did, he did this interesting thing where he got this big jar and he filled it with sand, then chucked some pebbles in it and tried to put these rocks in it, couldn't put it in there, right? They said, what am I going to do? And they did a bit of a workshop. So he emptied it out. And then what he did, he ended up putting all the big rocks in first, then the pebbles, then the sand, and then finally filled it with water. And he could fit everything in the jar. But the only way you can fit everything in the jar is by putting the big rocks in first. And what a metaphor for this is in your life is if you are too busy, texting and Facebooking and blah, 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 and not looking at your big-term, long-term goals, making space for them, then what happens, you won't have any room in your life for these goals or for these things.
Absolutely.
Right? And, 3% of people end up owning 97% of the wealth, and 3% of people have written goals. So, guys, if you haven't written down your goals, then you need to, because you need to know what's important. Knowing what's important is important. And if you don't know, you don't know. You need to just look into it and look at it and refine it. I've been doing my goals for years and years and years. Yeah, probably since I was about 16.
Yep.
So I've had a lot of practice. And
Yep. Absolutely. Because if you don't have those goals, you just kind of wander through life. It's like having a boat with no rudder. You go around in circles.
exactly.
Whereas when you do have really strong goals, you wake up with purpose and meaning, and you get through your day with your day to day, but then there's obviously this big picture.
Well, the beauty of it is when you've got big goals, your future's bigger than your past.
Correct.
All right. And when your future's bigger than your past, that gives you life enthusiasm. It's
Yes.
exciting. It's hard to be enthusiastic, happy, or positive if your past is bigger than your future.
Yep.
If you've got no future. And a coach of
and-
mine, Dan Sullivan, he says you always want to create a bigger future than your past. Now, Dan Sullivan, he's about 77 at the moment, I think, right? And he reckons he does more work now than what he did 20 years ago. When he was 50. And he's fitter now, stronger, and he's got bigger plans, massive plans.
Yep,
You know,
absolutely.
Before he wanted to grow his business 10 times, now wants to grow 100 times now that he's 70 something.
Yeah, wow, that's great. Love it.
And the guy's amazing guy, Dan Sullivan. Totally amazing, and he's into longevity. He wants to live to 156.
Love it. Love that positivity. That's great.
Me, I want to live to 300.
Ha! That would make a movie out of you. 300.
That's right.
You got the beard already.
Exactly. There you go. I'm halfway there. Spartan. Who knows?
But look, again, going back to it, we'll kind of move on, but people get caught up in their past, and that defines their future.
Yes, and the thing is, right, one thing you got to learn from your past, very important, but you shouldn't use the past like a club to smash yourself over the head with all the time.
Absolutely.
Right? You've got to get over it, And look, part of, I guess, learning from your past is letting go of your ego. Ego really holds you back,
big one.
right? The thing is, the deal is you can learn from your mistakes or you can learn from other people's mistakes. Yep. Or not learn from your mistakes at all, which is even worse. That's the three options.
Not good.
And the best option is learning from someone else's mistakes. And that's the whole point, right? And that's why I hire people to be my mentors. Now it's on, I think 2 years ago, I had dinner with Gary Vee.
He's a great guy.
And Gary Vee, I was talking about it today in the gym actually. And Gary Vee, he used to run this wine thing, the wine channel. And what he did is gave away a lot of really good content. And Gary Vee, when I had dinner with him, he loves his wine. I do too. And luckily we got the same taste. So he was ordering these beautiful bottles of Penfolds wine. Nice bottles of that. I think it was a bin 389 or something like that. And we had quite a few glasses of wine. And what he was doing was talking about content and what to do. And he said, George, you just got to give it all away. Give your content away. And that's what we do. We're giving it away. Because by giving, that's how you receive. Mm-hmm. Now, what I want to talk about today is about new home loan rules.
Yes, let's get stuck into it because I'm sure we've got a lot of people with their little ears pricked waiting to hear about this stuff. If you haven't heard about it yet.
The banks have put new rules in place, right? So APRA, I don't know if you know what APRA is, as Australian Prudential Regulation Authority. Lovely name. They're the people in charge of the banks. That's what it is, right?
Yeah.
Well, they recently did a rule change and they placed a new stress test for home loan applicants at 3%.
Okay.
Used to be 2.5% buffer.
Yeah.
Now 3%. Right? So how does that work? So for example, if you're getting a home loan for 3%, they're going to add another 3% on top of that.
Yep.
And act like it's 6% to make sure you can afford it.
Oh, right.
Right? The reason they're doing that is they're saying, okay, imagine if rates went up and they doubled.
Yep.
Can you still afford it?
Are you still sustainable?
That's right. So what they've done, they decided to make it even harder now. So it used to be 2.5% buffer, now it's a 3% buffer. right?
Right.
So what this means is, what that means is they have to consider whether would-be borrowers are still able to afford repayments on 3% on top of whatever they're going to get, right?
Aha.
So what that means to you people watching right now is whatever your borrowing capacity was last week, cut it by 5%.
Yeah, right.
I know it sounds pretty shocking, but that's just a fact of it.
Right. Yep.
Yep. There you go.
Put that up.
Someone's already top of it. That's right. So it's going to reduce your borrowing capacity by 5%.
Yep.
And the thing is, I mean, if you're already unconditional, you're okay. But if you're not, then you're in big trouble. So for people that are only applies to new applicants, that's correct. So the big banks have said that what's happening is if people are already in the process of having a loan, they'll still do 2.5%. But from now on in the future, it's going to be that. So your borrowing capacity goes down to 5%. That's basically what it means.
Yep.
Right.
There was a little one that came in before that.
Is that for both owner-occupier investment? Yes. Okay. I'd like to have a bit more clarity around what George does with his finances when the interest-only terms run out on your loan. Good question. The reason, what I do with my finances is I'm constantly refinancing because I'm always buying more property, right?
Yep.
And unfortunately, because I've got so many properties, I need a whole team of admin people to do it for me because I've got so many documents to do. But
Yep.
I'm always buying property. Christina just bought a property last week, and now I said, Christina, you've got to find me one and help me get one because a lot of the properties that we've got with our developers, our members are priority with those. And I normally take the leftovers, but at the moment there's no leftovers. See, 3 years ago, it'd be great. There'd be lots of leftover properties. I'll just take them.
Yep.
Clients that want them. But now it's hard. But really, at the end of the day, what happens is interest-only terms normally last between 5 and 10 years. I'm normally refinancing every couple of years anyway. I never do fixed interest. I do variable, and I'm always refinancing to get a better deal or get more equity out.
Yep.
Because you want to be in a ratio around 80-20 rule. 20% equity, 80% borrowing.
Yep.
Why is APRA doing this? The reason APRA's doing it is because they're worried because there's such a massive property boom at the moment. They're trying to pull the handbrake on it and slow it down.
Yes.
Also, because what's happened recently, we've had, I think, about 2.5% inflation in Australia. That's the official inflation rate at the moment. And they're worried because of inflation that interest rates may go up. So I'd say interest rates may go up by, 0.5% next year sometime. At the moment it's 0.1. It might go to 0.5.
Absolutely.
In about 6 months' time.
I
Which
mean,
is zero. So it's still
it's nothing. I get people saying to me, George, when they want to join up, they say, what happens if the interest rates double overnight? Well, it's not going to double overnight.
It can't. Okay, so so the deal is the RBA, the Reserve Bank of Australia, they actually control the rates.
Yep.
They don't want everyone going broke overnight.
Of course they don't.
Right? Their job is to actually help the economy.
Yes.
So anyone's going, oh shit, what are they doing? Well, no, they've got all these things in place to keep everyone safe because by having a wealthy society and country, everyone does better, right? So it's not in their interest to actually stuff you around and double the interest rates on you and destroy you, like what they did back in 1987. See, what happened was back in the 80s, we had the stock market crash and then interest rates went through the roof because we had massive inflation. And the reason they had such inflation and such high interest rates was to try to slow down the inflation. But it didn't work. And people were paying up to 25% interest on their properties. Imagine that.
Wow. 25%.
25.
And people are complaining about 3.5.
And people are still making money though, because
Wow.
when interest rates is high, so is inflation, so are rent, so is everything.
It's all relative, right?
It's all relative, right? This is actually the first time in history where we've got high rents and low interest.
Yeah.
So that means that's going to change.
Yes,
Okay, so
correct.
someone says, does refinance give you more time on interest only? Yes, it does. Every time you refinance, you start again. Gives you another
Yep,
5 years.
perfect.
What are
Absolutely.
you what are you having? What are you drinking tonight, Belinda?
Tonight I'm drinking a lovely, it's called Even Kill, and it's a lovely little Pinot. It's one of my
I
favourites.
like the even keel, not bad. I'm
Even
having a basket press.
the good old Rockfords, one of my favourites. A bit too heavy for me. I'm having a lighter red.
My opinion, there will be wage explosion, so getting that property might be okay. Watch this space. Look, wages are going up, but not that high. I think at 1.7% at the moment.
Yeah,
I would
absolutely.
like to understand which investment is better: house and land for max depreciation, but no rental income for
Bring that
minimum
up, George.
5
Bring
months.
that up on the big
I don't
screen.
know if it will fit. Oh yeah, here we go.
It does.
Okay, can you read it out and I'll answer it?
Okay, I would like to understand which investment is better: house and land for maximum tax depreciation, but no rental income for 6 to 9 months, or brand new built home for instant rent but paying full stamp duty.
Yeah, okay. Good
Ah,
question. Good question. Look, at the moment, I prefer brand new built.
yep,
Just because you know it's going to rock up. The problem is a lot of builders going broke at the moment.
yes,
And because of that, you've got to be really careful.
well, the,
If
the,
you,
the
if you get
challenge,
a, if you get a house and land, you want to make sure they're actually going to deliver because they may
correct,
not deliver.
because I really see that, I've been speaking to a lot of people I know in the industry. A lot of these builders won't have the foresight to actually realise that they're going to go bankrupt and they won't be able to pay their tradies. So they'll walk off site. And if you've got a contract with that, hello, good luck.
Yep. Yep. And look, there's so many builders now, big builders that are paying people to get out of the contract or just cancelling contracts.
Correct. And looking at things like stamp duty and stuff, well, if you set it up and you set up the system and strategy right, I mean, ideally you can get the tenant, the tax man, to pay for that anyway.
Exactly. So at the end of the day, if you can find built, I'd go for built as long as you get in the right area or something close to being finished.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep. So that's basically the way it works. So your past does not equal your future.
That's right.
And basically, you know, the important thing is what we are talking about before is property in your future. I wanted to go through a few numbers to show people what investing looks like because it's pretty exciting.
Yep.
Okay. So I wish I had a screen that I could write on here. Let's have a
I
look.
know. That'd be great.
Let me have a look. If I knew what I was doing, probably could do it, but I don't know how to do it. Share screen. Let's have a look. No. Okay, so I'm going to try to work out how to do numbers on a piece of paper and describe it to you. So, funny enough, I was talking to a client of ours, a mutual friend
Yep.
of ours, Harmy.
Okay. Yep. Perfect.
Right? And he joined our program about probably 18 months ago,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Sure did.
I met him at a conference when I was in Sydney. And Harmy owns a very big concreting company in
Geelong.
Geelong. That's it. Yes, not Wollongong. Wollongong is like a Geelong, but of Sydney. You know what I mean?
Yep. Instead of Melbourne.
Exactly. So, and we're talking about rate of return on the investment. Because rate of return on investment, what happens is you look at how much money you put in, right?
Yep.
Then what you're going to do is look at how much money the thing's gone up to. That's the
Yes.
difference. Then you divide that by how much money you put in and times by 100, and that gives you the rate of return.
Yes.
And we'll look at the rate of return on him joining our program from
Yep.
a year and a half ago. And we calculated he made around about 600% return on his money.
Wow. It's so good. There's no other companies that can do that type of return. We
Can
need
you
to
believe
do
that?
a case study and put it on our website.
Yep.
So
But not only
people
that,
can see this.
they've got 2 properties and they're making $174 a week.
Unbelievable. That's fantastic.
Not only that, though, the properties have gone up about 120,000. The 2 probably more than that. Sorry. Yeah, but let's say 120,000, right? So on the original money they put in, compared to what it went up, that's like the return. They invested 80, made 120. So if you invest 180, make 120. Let me work this out. They made a 50% return.
Wow.
While on their property, imagine making a 50% return while getting $174 a week.
Crazy. I mean, like, the thing is, as a coach, we see this every day, but we just stop. We don't sometimes stop and smell the roses on the real nitty gritty figures.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
know
So,
what I mean? Like,
and what I want to do is I want to go through.
this is not really dissimilar to a lot of our members. You know what I mean?
No. Most of our members have made between 35 and 60, 70% on their money.
Yeah.
Which is pretty amazing. But that's in their first year usually. But the amazing thing is, the important thing is this. I was thinking about this exercise the other day because properties double every 7 or 10 years, right?
Yep.
And I was thinking, let's do an experiment and let's imagine that we bought a property today and we're going to keep it for 20 years. Now, a lot of people say, oh, well, 20 years is such a long time and we don't know what's going to happen in the future, blah, blah, blah. Look, the deal is, it doesn't matter what you think, sooner or later, 20 years will come just like that and you're going to be there.
Correct.
The future creeps up on you and it's going to be there no matter what, right? So it's going to be there already. You might as well do something to surprise yourself. So imagine this, right? 20 years is a long time, but imagine that you invested $100,000 into a $500,000 property, right?
Yep.
So it's $100,000 deposit today, $500,000 property, and that's going to make you, from day one, probably about $80 a week positive,
Yep.
right? So if you invest this $100,000 and make $80 a week, which is more than what you'll make in the bank if you invest $100,000 in the bank, correct?
Yes.
Then that $500,000 property doubles every 7 or 10 years. So what we're going to do is say, okay, let's say 10 years, it doubles to $1 million. And then another 10 years, it doubles. What does that equal? 2 million.
2 mil. Yeah.
Now, if you had 2 million at 5% return, 2 million times 5% equals 100,000 a year.
Ha!
So think about this. If you invested $100,000 now, in 20 years' time, you'll get paid back 100,000 every year for the rest of your life, plus interest on top of that, compounding for the rest of your life.
Yep.
Imagine giving yourself that present for the future.
Yes.
Imagine just one of these things in 20 years' time. Imagine just one property that's going to make you $100,000 a year.
Crazy.
How cool would that be?
Yep. Unbelievable.
So what an exercise. And that's the fact of it. That's the fact. But see, instead of buying one and waiting 20 years, buy 2 and wait 10. Same thing.
Exactly.
Buy 2 and wait 10. And instead of buying 2 and waiting 10, buy 5 and wait 5. Right? Right? You
That's
can
it.
accelerate this. But I'm saying even if just one good property, what you can do. Now, if you left 100,000 in the bank
And just sat on it.
and sat on it at 1% interest, how much would you get? Well, you're going to get $1,000 a year. There's 20 grand plus compounding. Let's say it's 50. You'll end up with 150,000 instead of 1.5 million and $100,000 a year income.
It's just,
Yep. Someone said return for cash flow. Awesome. Yep.
absolutely.
Hi, George Belinda. Good to see you back. George Markowski. Thank you.
Cheers. Yes, good to see Georgie back. Actually, this is our first live together since you've returned.
We bought in Canberra 16 years ago. This is one of our clients for 300,000. David is valued at 825,000. Awesome! High five!
Wow.
That's great news.
So 3, 6, yeah, beautiful. That's about
Yeah,
right.
there you go. So that's pretty exciting, which is awesome.
You know, the most important thing is property is not a get rich quick mentality. It's the slow and steady that wins the race, but doing it properly and setting it up first time round.
That's right. That's right. It is. It is. And these little mind experiments I've been playing with. It's pretty amazing when you think about it.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
but but the numbers are just like that. You know,
Oh, the magic of compounding interest.
it is the magic of compounding interest. Someone said,
What a great.
assume you never sell your properties and just continue to draw equity and buy more properties. That's exactly right. That's what you do because you don't want to sell.
Because imagine if you get to a point where you're making $25,000 a year from one property, passive income. Why would you sell that? That's cash flow. Why would you
Yep,
sell? You want
exactly.
to sell to get back in the market again.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
crazy. It costs money to sell.
it
And
costs
look,
money to sell.
the people that I know that have made the most money out of property, they don't
Are the
sell
ones
their
that buy and
property, they
hold.
just buy. You make your money when you buy, and then you keep it. Do you only buy a major city? How do you classify a major city? How important is it to have front and backyard for growth and value? Look, a front and backyard is getting less and less important as the future goes along. That's just the way it is. I mean, in Sydney and Melbourne, New York, and places like that in the CBD, there's a lot of places that they don't even put kitchens in there anymore.
Wow.
People don't, and they don't have. They're getting rid of garages now, garage space.
Yeah, garage space.
People don't need a garage for a car anymore. People don't really need a kitchen anymore. You've got Uber Eats, you've got everything you need. So the kitchen and the garage are going out. The front and backyard are going too. That's the trend. So
Yeah,
me
wow.
personally, I still so what a lot of people don't get, right? It's not the land that goes up, it's the scarcity that goes up.
Mm,
Right? Scarcity makes your property go up, not the land.
yeah.
A lot of people go, oh, well, the land's what going up. No, it's a scarcity. And what I mean by that is if you've got a unit, then is that what they call it here in Melbourne, a unit or apartment?
More of apartment.
Yeah, apartment, yeah.
Unit's more like a 1 to 2 bedroom as opposed to apartment could be a
Yeah.
high rise.
See, apartment in a high rise, it's hard for it to go up in value because it's not unique. There's no scarcity. So
No,
only buy in capital cities or large regional centres. Regional centres. Yeah, I couldn't even say
regional.
that. Yes,
That's a little bit different than regional.
that's right.
They're a bit more
Regional, yeah, exactly. They're much
higher
cooler.
up in the market.
That's right. The upper class regional. They're called regional. Anyway,
Regional.
so basically, I think when you start out, you want to start out buying in the capital cities and
Yeah.
then slowly move out. Because really, what I'd like to do is really, buy one in Brisbane, one in Perth, one in Adelaide, then one in Melbourne, one in Sydney. Then you've covered.
Cover all your bases.
That's right. Cover your bases. Then worry about rural. A lot of people. There was a bit of a trend with COVID, people going rural for a little bit,
Yep.
but it's going to change back now anyway with
Of course
COVID.
it will. Absolutely. I mean, you can't compare some rural town to a major capital city.
Lisa just said, "Hello guys, excited about my next property with PPS."
Oh, good
Awesome.
work. Excellent. That's amazing, Lisa. Well done.
Yeah, so there you go. So that's basically it. So property investing in your future. So that little exercise, investing 100 grand and how in 20 years' time you get 100 grand paid back every year. Plus, on top of that, your capital goes up and the growth goes up by 5% usually. Amazing.
Yep.
It's like getting a golden goose and just it multiplying and sitting in your backyard and just that little golden
Watching
egg.
the golden eggs
Right?
coming out.
And I think selling a property is a bit like the golden goose. The guy that killed the golden goose and then they ended up killing it and getting nothing,
Yeah.
right?
Same deal.
That's similar. You want to keep your golden goose giving you golden geese or whatever, or not golden geese,
Exactly.
golden eggs.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it really comes down to that buy and hold mentality. Or, you know, and if you buy in the right areas and you get something that's new and you've got the tax deductions as well as the capital growth, the equity and rents going up every year, top 100, you know, you're ticking all the right boxes, you know.
Yep. Yep. We've got one of our clients who's actually going to sell his property and buy crypto.
Oh, really?
Yes. And because look, I gave people advice.
Yep.
So when Bitcoin became big news about 2 or 3 years ago,
Yep.
I don't remember when everyone was talking about it, and a lot of
Yep.
people coming to me saying, George, what do I do? And one, I'm not an expert in anything except for property. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I guess the reason I'm Australia's leading authority when it comes to wealth creation using property is because I've done it for so long. I've helped so many people invest. I've done so many transactions. To me, it's just intuitive, right? That's what I'm good at. Now, I don't trade crypto, so I'm not an expert. But with anything new, I don't mind speculating a bit. And I said to people, get 1% of your money that you've got in the bank. If you want to play with crypto, put it in there. If you lose it, you don't care. If you make a fortune, great.
Yeah.
But don't sell your house for crypto. There was a family actually during the boom about 3 years ago that sold their house, put it all into crypto, and lost everything.
Wow.
They're on TV in Switzerland. They're like, my name's Sven, and I'm going to sell my house and buy crypto. All right, and crypto was going crazy, and Sven sold his Volvo, sold his house.
Sven will need to go and work as a crash test dummy now
Look,
to make up for
I
life.
don't think Helga's going to be very happy.
Helga would not be very
I
happy.
reckon
It
Sven's probably
sounds
sleeping on
more
the
like
couch.
German words than Swiss, but that's okay. You know, did you know that, George, that some of the banks now are actually accepting cryptocurrency now, like as a part of their app,
As part of their what?
as part of their app, like part of their whole system.
I don't
You
think
can
so,
have
no.
crypto.
Don't think so, not yet.
Yeah, I've seen it. Someone was telling me about it.
Look, I think a whole country went on to Bitcoin recently. I think it's El Salvador, wasn't it?
Yes, I think
So
so.
let's type this in.
Let's type it up.
Uncle Google, tell us.
Uncle Google, we've just had another question come through. Do you ever buy established properties or focus purely on new properties for tax depreciation? I think we covered this, but
I'll talk about it anyway.
oh, there we go. I'm absolutely right. CBA has just
Okay, yes, so listen to this. El Salvador.
CBA have just gone live with crypto. It was announced today. Thank you, George. Belinda is ahead of the game.
Yeah, I heard that CBA did something with crypto, but I don't know what they've done with it.
They've gone live with it.
Well, yeah, El Salvador have got Bitcoin as legal tender, but
There we go, Commonwealth Bank. Just going back to the question.
It's just offering crypto services. That's all. Nothing
Offering
else.
crypto services.
Yeah. So basically, what you do is you can go online and you can buy crypto. Now you can buy it through. You know how Commonwealth Bank give you shares? You can buy shares.
Yes.
Yeah, same thing. All they're doing is like a broker. They're not actually.
Okay. Oh, okay. That's what they're doing.
Yep.
Do you ever buy established properties or focus purely on new properties for tax depreciation?
Okay, where's that?
Oh, okay. So it's come up on the screen. You're missing it, George.
Oh, here we go. Yep.
Well,
look, the deal is when you start out, you focus on smashing down your tax. Once your tax is down next to zero, you don't need to buy brand new properties anymore. So your strategy is not the same all the time, right?
Yep.
My doggy is playing with his toy.
I know. I was just going to say.
I'm going to introduce the dog, everyone. Come here. Come on outside.
It's like a little teddy bear.
Let me.
Oh, look at him.
Say hello, everyone. Einstein's going to say hello to everyone. Come here,
Ah,
Einstein.
little
Look there.
Einstein.
Look. Come here. Look
Hello,
at him. He's
little
like a little
Einstein.
teddy, isn't he?
He's like a big teddy bear.
He's such a little teddy. Look at him.
Ah,
Look at him. Look at him.
Ah.
He's beautiful. I took him for a walk today, and I was teaching him how to swim.
Yep.
And because I live near the beach, I thought I'd better teach him, the little one. And this chihuahua went nuts. And poor little Einstein ran between my legs
Hey,
and hit and
those
cried.
chihuahuas, they got balls. They can be aggressive. Don't underestimate a small little chihuahua. They might be small, but they've got big barks.
They certainly do.
Not much of a bite.
Someone's saying, not sure if 400K can buy a decent three-bedroom brand new house in Melbourne. No, you can't.
No, you
No
can't.
way. He's such a cutie, little Einstein. He's 10 weeks old and still a bit of a baby pants, but he's learning. He's learnt a lot. He's being a lot better now. I've taught him a few things.
It's called puppy pants, not baby
Yeah.
pants.
Groodles, yeah, Groodles are amazing. They're beautiful. But I thought Groodles were small. So what happened was my neck was out, and I felt sorry for Christina because I was ignoring her and I was lying on my back for so long. So I thought I'd borrow a pet puppy for a little present. And I looked up Groodle, and they look small to me, but apparently it's going to be big. Look how big it is already. It's huge.
Yes. It's going to be a big doggy. Ha
I didn't want a big doggy, but oh well, that's life, you know.
He's family now. What are you going to do?
That's right.
Too far gone.
That's right, exactly. So there you go. Guys,
okay,
if you don't have questions, let's ask one more question, and then we're gonna
move on to our live with our members. So we have
we're gonna do a bit of
private
coaching stuff.
all of our members coaching night.
What I want to do is talk about giving back.
Yes.
And my birthday. So guys, it's my birthday. This Friday.
It's your birthday. It's
right?
tomorrow.
It's also my wedding anniversary with Christina.
I know.
I got married on my birthday, so at least I can't forget our anniversary.
No, you can't.
So that's why Christina and I celebrate the anniversary of where we met. So that way I get at least I get a birthday. Now come here, little doggy. He's wants to play with me. Anyway, so fetch. Anyway, keep him abused. I tell you what, it's not easy trying to fool this little 10-week-old puppy to go into its little cage, little crate. What's it called? Little
crate training.
Crate. Yeah, been doing crate training, and he's very stubborn. But
that's all right, like his owner.
Well, the problem is they're not really motivated by food. Someone said happy birthday, thank you. So it's my birthday, but what I'm doing is I'm giving away the presents to you guys. So this is the deal, guys. What I'm going to do is, if you're in the Australian Property Chat, and if you look at Amazon, what I'll do is I'll share my screen. Oh,
that went to Matrix.
Freedom through property.
Hey, this is cool.
Look at this.
Oh, next level, George.
Freedom through property, Amazon. Here we go. See, you can buy this for $9.97 on Amazon. My book, Freedom Through Property.
Yeah.
Bestseller. There you go, Amazon #1 bestseller. Am I following George? Good.
Yes, good to know you're following. Look at that, Matrix.
Yep. So anyway, you can buy it there for $9.97, or if you're part of the Australian Property Chat, all you got to do is invite 3 friends, take a screenshot of your invitation that you invited them to Australian Property Chat, send a message to George Markowski, PPS, and we're going to send you a free copy of the book.
Love it.
Also, I'm doing another thing for my birthday. I'm giving away $200,000 worth of scholarships.
200,000 worth of scholarships.
Yes, but it's serious. I'm giving away $200,000.
I know, I love it.
And
so how do you get a scholarship? How do we get a scholarship?
What I'll do is if you want to do the scholarship, type in what's the easy thing to write the scholarship, because that's pretty hard to write.
Just put
#free.
#free.
Type in #free. I'll get one of my team to send you the link, and you can apply for a scholarship. So I'm giving away 10 scholarships this year, and I'm giving away every year for my birthday. And once they're gone, they're gone. That's it. There you go. #free.
Beautiful.
Type in #free. My team will send you the thing. But the reason I'm doing this is because I really happy birthday, congratulations on your wedding anniversary. Thank you so much. The reason I'm doing this because we're building a school in Cambodia at the moment, and hopefully, once COVID's over, we can go and have a look and check out what they're doing. Make sure they're doing it, but also,
make sure it's actually happening.
But also, I mean, I want to be grateful for everyone here. I want to say thank you for following us and being part of our tribe. And the way I want to do this is by giving my book away and also the scholarships. And I'm going to be doing it every year, until I'm 300. Once I turn 300, I might slow down a bit.
I don't think so.
So Christina was saying to me today, she's like, George, should we convince Belinda to move to Adelaide?
Oh, ulterior motives.
I said, it's up to you. I'm not going to, So a lot of people are typing hashtag free. If you're not in the Australian Property Chat, join the Australian Property Chat and join us here because we're live every Thursday night. We're actually, we've still got another 5 minutes to go, which is great.
Someone sent you a birthday song. We'll play that on the way out. We should play that on the way out.
We should? Yeah.
Gee, we're getting a lot of people asking free for scholarship.
Yeah, look, I love the idea of a scholarship. I think it's great. And
how does it work? How does a scholarship work?
What happens is, what is the scholarship, George?
There we go.
What I'm doing is I'm
question. Whoever said that. We're on the
same. So our memberships, go from just over 10 grand to $35,000-$40,000.
Yep.
Right? I'm telling them straight up. We're not the cheapest, but we're damn good. We're really good at what we do. And, a lot of people, someone said, how can I contact you, George? Send me a message on Facebook Messenger. That's probably a good way to do it. So what is a scholarship? Scholarship is basically if you want to invest in property and, you're not quite there, you need someone to help you and you can't afford the membership or whatever, what I want to do is...
and that's genuine.
Yep, I want to give people help. So, for example, I'll tell you what I'm doing at scholarship. Our members, Harmy and his wife, Tanya, their daughter is our first recipient of the scholarship. She's 16 years old, right? And basically what we've done is all she has to do is pay a small deposit because I really want to commit now to people. Yep. But basically it's for free. I'm giving like over 90% off on the price. And then she goes through the thing. We do a case study. We videotape what she does. And I'm hoping she's going to be the youngest property investor we've ever had. 16 years old. Pretty cool.
Wow, that's great. Fantastic. Love it.
Because how exciting for a 16-year-old in 20 years' time, you know what I mean? She'll still be young.
I know. I'm jealous. Where's that time machine when you need one, right?
Guys, the good thing is, guys, we're all going to be living longer.
And I'm not talking a hot tub time machine. I'm talking a property time machine.
I'd like a hot tub time machine.
I know you would.
I'd rather have one of those.
I've seen the movie. So someone's just written, so I can't afford the membership, so will I be able to invest?
Good question. If you can't afford the membership, you should apply for the scholarship.
Apply for the scholarship.
Now, if you're making 300 grand a year, you're going to get rejected because you can afford it.
Yes, that's right.
But can existing members apply? Existing members can't apply, but if you got any kids, brothers or sisters, you can get them involved in the scholarship. There's a new thing we're doing. We're only doing 10 a year, right? And Belinda, you're hilarious.
There's that enthusiasm coming out again.
No, you certainly are hilarious, Belinda. And I think, having you on, how do you apply for the scholarship, George? Type in hashtag free, and our team will contact you and show you exactly how to apply for the scholarship. That's what we're doing. Because look, our overarching goal, our unstoppable mission is to empower 10,000 people to create financial freedom for investing in property using the Markowski method. That's what we're doing. And
absolutely.
10,000 is a lot of people, and we're going to get there though. We've already got, 500 people on our black belt program already, I reckon, about 500. Mm-hmm. So we've got 9,500 to go. That's it.
Absolutely.
Well, guys, guess what? Thank you, everyone, so much for joining us. Remember, same bat time, same bat channel next week.
That's your little alarm. Should you
Oh,
go
yeah.
back to that birthday message to play the music?
Who is it from? Who is it from?
I don't know who's it from.
Yeah, no,
Maybe
no, no, no,
not.
no.
We don't, I
Okay.
can't see the username.
No, look, I'm going to just talk about a quick habit that I've been doing lately, right? And that's I recently bought myself an ice bath,
Yes.
and the thing is, with anything that's hard, like having an ice bath, it's not easy. I bought an ice bath, and what I've done is I've started at 14 and a half degrees, and slowly each week I'm cutting it down by half a degree, cutting it down.
Yep.
And I've been doing it for 1 week straight already.
Yep.
And this morning I jumped in there, and it felt fine. Even though a week ago,
Wait until I get there, Georgie. I'm coming over to visit you soon.
well, tomorrow I'm dropping it down to 13 and a half degrees. I'm going to keep going
I
down.
love it. Love, love, love,
So
love,
that's
love
been
it.
a lot of fun. But the funny thing is, creating a positive addiction in your life is a really good thing to do.
Sure is.
And I think, whatever if you're listening to this right now, what's one positive addiction you can create over the next week? And tell us about it next week.
Yeah, perfect.
You know what I mean?
Love it.
Because
Love it.
my positive addiction is ice baths. I've committed 6 days a week. I take Sunday off. Sunday, no ice bath.
Yeah, love it.
Okay, we're going to get going. Thank you so much, freedom fighters. See you next week, same time. We're going to go to our next thing. Bye-bye.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Happy days.